Welcome back everyone to Jurassic Palms 1998, our ongoing project in Jurassic World Evolution 3, and today with a special habitat. This is going to be the PYRORAPTOR Hall. It's kind of an indoor, yet not fully indoor habitat for the PYRORAPTOR. It is a ginormous building that is going a little bit towards the back of our park, and also it does feature a bit more of the 90s kind of style architecture that this whole project is named after. I'll get to that in a second, but what you will also see is this is an implied underwater viewing area over here. I was doing some trickery to achieve this, and you know, as I said, it is implied because you can't really see anything. I wish we had some billboards in the game, just like in the Planet games, where you can put your own footage on, because then you could literally just like film the PYRORAPTOR dive. Because there is this fantastic animation. I haven't seen that before. I'm not sure why I didn't see that, but there is this fantastic animation that the PYRORAPTOR actually does do a full dive at some point, and then if they're static in the water, when they're swimming, they're like kind of swimming almost like a dolphin kind of thing. But when they're in one spot, they do actually go down and do like a little dive move, just like in the movie. And you could film that and put this on some screens over here. But I needed to kind of fake the idea that you can see underwater. And the way I did this is I created kind of a structure that has a security underwater viewing. And then I found this kind of fountain piece over here, which emits some very cool water effect in a way. And I created like a nighttime view. Unfortunately, that was the moment where the nasty bug came in that fortunately enough is fixed now. But the game sometimes turns to nighttime when you set it to nighttime, and it just stays there, you know. There was no chance of me to revert back to daytime, and hence I did cut out this part of this video, because oh my god, I thought I'm gonna do a little habitat, and yet again 5 hours or something more went into building this. To be fair, a couple of things, like almost an hour went into testing if there is a way to break the system to create some actual you know, deep dive area that you can look into, but I haven't found a way. I tried my best to kind of fiddle around with the security camera to bring this down and then just like use the view of the security camera, but as this is not projected anywhere else, it is just kind of pointless, I guess. But yeah, so I was trying to first of all do the habitat with the PYRORAPTOR in mind, and I think, you know, this is definitely one of the criticisms that a lot of people have, and I absolutely agree. The requirements for work in habitats, they are enormous, you know. It's kind of nice that this game just looks a bit more onto a like realistic size of a habitat for a natural welfare of animals, but comparing this to a typical zoo kind of theme park idea, these habitats you need to do to fulfill the requirements of the animals to a good degree, they are just beyond crazy. However, for this specific one over here, which I envision is one of the newest installments to our park, that said, we are in the year 1998. So a new installation means one of the latest builds has been built around the mid-90s, just to, you know, get that across. And this is definitely then when also a bit of more money was invested maybe, and a new attraction was needed. And so this is one of the bigger ones, and I decided to give them the space required. So yes, this is not only a great looking habitat, it does fulfill the needs of the PYRORAPTOR as well, which is pretty cool, and it does work fantastically, and I do hope that they get some babies eventually. They do have a nest and stuff in there in the final version, so definitely hoping for some babies at some point. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And now, while you can see me doing a bit of a trick over here, so in case you want to be a bit more efficient, what I'm doing over here is I'm building myself a template. So the way you do this is you use the grid basically to create a template. I'm using a grid of what is that, 6 meter, I believe it is over here. No, actually it should be 6 meter. And then once I'm happy, you can copy it around and create like a huge structure in no time, as you can see. I'm also using that kind of prefab habitat I've created beforehand and just copy these pieces around. I made use of angle snap at this point to make sure that the whole building looks geometrically correct in a way. I wanted to have this kind of tighten up space to the front so that you get this kind of wide angle look into the space. That was the idea, to play with the perspective a little bit, you know. And I figured that this wide angle was a little bit too wide at the beginning, so I moved the whole structure a little bit further back to really have that narrow appeal at the viewing gallery, but it opens up into that huge space. So this already huge space just seems like bigger anyways. And you can see from the building, it goes a lot more into the kind of typical, almost like a little bit more modern-ish 90s vibe, you know, using a lot more like wide and less colorful concrete. And see, you guys have been commenting. I think this is the most commented thing on these videos. It's not about dinosaurs. It's not about the project itself. It's not about the commentary or the music. It is about the fact that you said, oh, the architecture is more 80s than 90s. And yeah, as I've explained in the first episode, and in the second, and in the third as well, I'll do that again. The idea is that this park has been opened, or actually has been aimed to be opened in 1998. Naturally, you start building earlier than that, which means you draw inspiration from the architecture that you're living in. And so it is absolutely normal that you draw inspiration from the 80s when you have this park in the 90s. So just moving on. So that's why many theme parks in the early 2000s look more like 1990s architecture than vice versa. And also it's kind of about it depends on what you're looking at. There are a lot of 90s, like typical 90s builds that are very famous. Like when you search for most kind of iconic 90s architecture, you'll find a lot that looks like 80s. So it depends a little bit, you know. But yeah, it is intentional that the main street is looking a lot more 80s vibe because it is one of the earliest things you build in a park. And the more we progress in our park, it is going to be more 90s vibe inspired, simply because that just makes sense how you would realistically approach a project like that. You know, over time, architecture styles changing and, you know, more and more stuff comes in. And this is why this project over here, this specific PYRORAPTOR hall, which I envision is a bit of a later one, and as you see, we are jumping a little bit in my area, which, by the way, has a good reason. I'll get to that at the end of the episode. It is important that I have built this one now. I'll actually give you a good plan of what to expect in the next episode. So if you haven't subscribed, by the way, to the channel yet, this is a good moment to do so, because there's going to be a lot more coming in this project, a lot more. So thank you so much already for your ongoing support. The last episode has been mega successful as well. Super great to see all the comments, and you guys, I guess, love the Dimetrodon beach we did over there. In case you haven't seen that one, make sure to watch it. But yeah, I'm just very, very pleased with the reception of this project now. Loads of the stuff has catched up a little bit in the latest days, so very much big thanks to this. But as I said, we are moving towards a bit more 90s style with this specific build over here. Now, it's very hard to pinpoint because the 90s have a very wide range of different type of architectures. You have like these very metal organic forms, almost like modern builds. Like we also, like I come from Germany, I'm living in Western Germany, I work in Düsseldorf, and there is a very prominent, like a very iconic building which is called die Geribauten, which is one of these kind of iconic metal weird shaped houses. They're very famous, and they are typical 90s, kind of 90s, early 2000s, again, as you want to wish. This is something we are doing as well, but also a lot of this typical kind of industrial mega centers, mega builds, 90s, you know, where like bigger companies, like the first digital companies, kind of built their HQs, and they used a lot of concrete, they used a lot of huge glass windows, very tall windows. They went away from the typical kind of 80s style where it all was a bit more of this late Victorian style. Might not be the most accurate depiction of it, but at least of how windows and stuff would be integrated. And the 90s went full on like taller windows, more light to flood in, paired with some way more steep roofs as well. And this is something I tried to bring in to this project specifically. I've looked at some inspirations from various builds from the 90s that are super prominent, kind of some town halls, but also looking at some other stuff. And yeah, just also in case you want to know more about the, you know, style I was going for with the with the kind of Geribauten, as I said, which is going to be, little spoiler ahead, another carnivore receiving this style. You can also check out the Guggenheim Museum, which is also another one having the you know, in Bilbao, by the way, that is, because there are more than like one. That has also kind of style we're going for. Very excited for that one. I'll keep that for the future because I need to figure out something about the pieces a bit more by then. But yeah, so very, very pleased about this outcome. Using a bit more brick, which, you know, technically brick isn't the most used, most commonly used material in the 90s, but if so, bright colors and stuff, getting more contrast between white and gray tones and stuff is something of a thing. Paired with a lot of glass is definitely the way to go here, and so I use this. And I also use some panels to separate these areas. By the way, this is an implied area. I'll get to the implied area in a bit. I'll give you a bit of explanation to why I put this there. But yeah, so that is about this. And now I'll have a little thing to talk about. So give me a moment. Alright, so obviously that is Instant Gaming, the sponsor of the channel. And you know, if you're watching till this point in time, first of all, thank you. But if you want to support the channel a bit more, you can do this by actually doing something good for yourself. Go to Instant Gaming, get a game, get some in-game currency, get whatever you need. You can get DLCs, pre-orders, and as I said, you can also get Xbox money. You can even get the Xbox Live Pass, and you can also get Steam for a lower value, actually. So if you want to have Steam money, you can get it for a discount here as well. And of course, Jurassic World Evolution updates and so on. You'll get this all there on this platform. And the best part is, by doing this, you directly support me and directly get yourself for a better value. How cool is that, right? Link here is always in the description. You can always grab that, or you find it to the top right, or have found it to the top right. Whatever, this is helping me beyond the nasty YouTube algorithm and hitting subscribe, which, by the way, you obviously have done so far. So it's all good, right? Anyways, you can see I'm changing a couple of things in here with the underwater viewing. I used this fountain piece I was talking about earlier to get this nice watery effect. You'll see that in the real-time part a lot better. But I wasn't too happy with it. Nighttime looks good. Nighttime, sorry. It just, you know, it always gets the best of me. This is one of these videos on YouTube I'll quote whenever possible. And if you know what I was quoting, you are a good person. You're a person of culture. In any case, I was a bit like, in nighttime it does look good because I've got some blue light spots on the underwater viewing, so that looks good. But in daytime, it just doesn't get this underwater vibe across. So what I was doing, I was putting some blue panels below, which looked pretty good, and I made sure to make it super low, even below that watery effect. And yeah, it is super cool implied underwater viewing. It's a bit of a sad thing that is only implied, but hey, that's all we can do for the moment. We have already so many more powerful tools at hand, but that is the last bit that definitely needs to be fixed. And it's also kind of funny. This is now the part where I'm starting to kind of detail a little bit around on the interior, and oh boy, on the one hand, I love all the new tools, and on the other, I hate them because I just couldn't stop. And I could go forever on to detail this because there's like so many great things, so many great pieces. But I think at the end of the day, I found a good balance between super detailed interior and yet focus on the habitat. The last thing I wanted to do is a bit of a platform, like an almost like a feeding platform, I want to call this. But my idea was like that you have some... I wanted to say zookeepers, but maybe that's the wrong word. Maybe these people are some volunteers. Let's call them volunteers that are going to go up there and kind of going to hold a little presentation to the people about the PYRORAPTOR, what they are capable of, and you know whatnot. I am fully aware that realistically they would be able to climb up here, the PYRORAPTOR. The problem though is, in-game, they seem to not even be able to step a toe on a rock. Even if the rock is fully seamless with the ground, they're like, nope, I'm not gonna use that. Which is very weird. I do really hope Frontier is going to fix that, because I thought I could give them like a cool area to go up to, you know, make them be on the rocks and have some stuff like that. No, they're not. The only thing they're using as an incline is the in-game terrain. If you use that, all good. This is also why I gave them like a little hill in the background to create some height differences in here. But my initial idea was to make this entire center rock really walkable for them. But yeah, in order to prevent them from getting in here, I put some energy stuff in. So I envisioned that this whole kind of metal frame is set under power and energy so that they won't be able to touch it. So, I mean, better the volunteer doesn't touch it either, you know, but that's like their problem, I guess. So at the end of the day, that was kind of the idea. So, yeah, last but not least, I was fixing some of the roof thingies, putting like a bit of a roof on. And initially, I wanted to completely close off the entire roof. And I did at one point, but I didn't feel it. It becomes even more dark inside, and I wanted to give them a bit more natural light. I think the danger of them, you know, escaping via the open roof is relatively low, even for the PYRORAPTOR. So I think it's fine to keep it open. And also weather-wise here in California, we may not even put too much of an effort into it, because the PYRORAPTOR, as we've seen in the movie, is capable of withstanding some temperature differences. So I guess we are good by keeping that open. And we will have some interior habitats, like full indoor habitats in the future. And I want to keep that one like a semi-interior one, I guess. It is kind of interior, but then again it isn't. But I guess they're kept away from nasty weather influences, so the whole viewing area is kind of covered nicely. That's all fine. As you can see now, people are in. I was trying my best to kind of, you know, style these benches as best as possible to make them sit there. I was also trying to get the pathway perfectly fine. I just, yeah, there was like a little bit that's open. But anyways, let's have a look how it looks in game. I'm so proud of this build. I must jump over now, so let's do that. We are in for a little treat. I actually did get some babies just before recording here. As you can see, there are some baby raptors. We can have a little look here at these ones. Baby PYRORAPTors. Look at the cuties. This one is a beige kind of one. Very nice. And that one over here. This one looks fun. Can you just walk for us into the sun, please? Oh my god. Look at this one. This is so scary. With like the bluish tint to it, but then also these kind of orange eyes and bit of dust in between. Oh, that is so good. My god, you are beautiful, my friend. You are beautiful and scary at the same time. Look at you looking. This is so good. Oh, I love that. It's just playing with its tail, and look at it almost looks like a dragon. That one looks like I envision dragon in these kind of, you know, dragon series or whatnot. Ah, so good. It's just so good. Also, look at the animation. Love it. Love it. They're so cute. There's some prey. I've never seen them hunt. Do the babies also hunt? Also, is that on speed? No, it's not on speed. I thought it was on full speed, but it's not. There's the goat. Are you going after the goat? Are you doing that for us? Are you learning to fight? What are you doing? I don't even know. I need to change a little bit of the habitat. I did create a bit more height differences and also put some more deep water in the back to make them really have all the needs they have. There's our viewing gallery over here. That gives you a bit of an idea for the back area. But then if we fly to the front, and you can really grasp how big this entire build is over here. There we have some swimming PYRORAPTOR over here. Maybe it's going to do its diving for us. Let's have a look if we get the diving animation in, because that's looking so good. Can you please do it for us, my friend? How about do the dive for us? Okay, so maybe we'll catch it doing it from on one position. I did put a couple of things in. So one of the issues I do have, I'm just gonna go out of this frame over here. Whoops! Oh my god! As you can see, everything is totally fine despite the deep water, and it might actually be because of some of the items I put in. But I'm not sure if this helps if we just check this one over here, the branch, say collision off, if that already fixes the issue. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. No, it still does say 88%, which is a bit of an odd one. I gave them more water actually as they have, but yeah, I'm fine. If that's 88%, I can deal with this. They're still happy. It's all good. But yeah, so from the looks, we are having a wonderful view from over here. You can see the PYRORAPTOR do its dive there, and we have people sitting in here. I try to really make sure to think of everything, you know. We've got some huge gates in here, some huge stickers where you can get in if you want to. There's like a ramp that leads all the way up, even though we don't really have that much space to get in here with a truck or so. I do envision there could be like a better gate anywhere else, maybe even at the back there. But the idea is also that there is some backstage stuff hidden in that mountain in the middle, simply because it is absolutely an artificial one. This is where we have the platform, you know, where the people can go through this little cage area, and there you have the door, moving all the way into that backstage area if needed. So that's that. And then we've got our diving area over here. As you can tell, I needed to do a bit of trickery. So technically they do not swim to the front here, but you can see this is with the water effect in here. I think it kind of sells the idea, and from the height you definitely would need to see them underwater because there's no point in seeing them from here. This is why we have that little viewing terrace over here. No one is actually sitting there, but technically from over here you can kind of, as they do this in zoos, you see them almost like up eye level, you know. That's where you do this. And if you want to see them from a little bit above, this is the entrance to the dome viewing, but apparently you can also walk up here and you got that wonderful view. Even take a seat, have a little drink here, and then oh my god, look at this boy, he's also seen things. Yeah, but you got this wonderful view from this little terrace over here. You can see that PYRORAPTOR do its dive in there and just have a look. I think overall it's a very interesting habitat. We have one last thing, is that huge viewing up here where we even have people. This one is actually accessible from the outside, so you're gonna have to go in here. Can I switch through? No, I can't because that collision turned on. So you have to go in here. At the moment, I'm wondering how that people even in, because technically they can't even reach it. But I think the game just beams them in here if you need them. So we can actually go in and show the view, and so you do have the view inside of the lagoon, and you can also switch the camera and have different views. This is to the back side, which is kind of pointless, but to the front, you can still see that PYRORAPTOR doing its swimming course, you know, for today, and have a look in this, as I think, fantastic habitat. I think it's looking really, really cool. Oh, you can't even switch to capture mode when you're in here. That's interesting. So yeah, this is the idea that I had in mind. There's one of the goats running around. Not sure where the babies are. Do the babies swim also of the PYRORAPTOR? I don't even know. Are you doing the dive for us now? You're not. Yeah, whatever. So that is, I think, you know, one of the coolest habitats I've done so far when it comes to just the sheer habitat, you know. This is most likely something you could envision InGen doing as like in a later stage of the running theme park idea of Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, whatever. Is it doing its dive there? I thought it was stationary for a second. Are you doing it for us? I love that because the animation is really damn cool. I think they do stop eventually in the water, and then they do this dive for us. Can you do that? No, you're not. Ah, dang it. Come on, do it for us. Man, hate that. I can't go in the water with this camera. But yeah, so it's a bit of a pity that we don't have an underwater viewing opportunity for the natural deep water. I wish we had to fake these kind of things. I wish we had like a barrier to which we can draw the water, and then it creates this kind of viewing side, I guess, just like as we have in Planet Zoo with the barriers, and then you can put water against it. That would be fantastic, because I needed to do that trickery, and only with the right perspective you get the idea of them being actually an underwater viewing. I mean, this over here is exactly the idea I had. Like it does sell the idea, it works in a way, but it is a trickery, you know, it's not the real thing. Anyways, as I promised, I'll show you what this means for the project. Oh god, the views in this game, guys, the views, look at that. This is so freaking cool. You could even, like, even without the underwater viewing, this habitat already is beautiful. Oh my god, there we had one kill. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Get yourself a goat. Get yourself a goat. What about babies? There's a baby roaming around. There's one in the sun again. Stop it, because I want to see you in the sun. Oh, look at you. Oh, there's the other. Oh my god, that one is hidden. That one is hidden in front. Oh my god, what a camouflage that is. But you, ooh, oh my god, so freaking cool. I like you. You are my favorite now. You're my favorite baby PYRORAPTOR I had so far. I mean, I only had 2, but it's okay. You're still my favorite, okay? Never mind then. So, you don't mature. You should have, you know, whatever. So where is it going? Are you having a snack on the goat here? Are you eating with your parents? What are you doing? I have not really seen them eating as like in the babies here. Do you chew from that killed goat over here? Do you kill yourself one? I would love to see them babies doing that. Kind of trying to, you know, trying to kill themselves, trying to get for food themselves. I'd really love to see that. Really love to see that. Are you doing some interactions for us? Just so we can see something, you know. We've seen you fighting at the beginning. That was fun. But can you do a little... What are you doing? Are you doing some step dance just next to us? Oh my god. I think they are caught in the same loop. The same animation loop, just like caught in it. Oh no, yeah, no, fine. So good. Ah, but the animations are... Oh, are you doing something for us? Yes, you do dance together. Yay! It's not quite the dance, is it? Yeah, I also had some stuff like lying around, just like some enrichment for them, if you will. I think that's a fine idea. But I'm rambling. Let's actually go outside of this thing and show you around. So the project is becoming a little bit of a larger scale now, as you can tell. But, and therefore I'm just going to change to the camera, to the standard camera, it's a bit quicker. So we've got our arrival point. We are going to get in with the infrastructure in the next episodes. Maybe the next episode is going to be the infrastructure, because it's gonna be partially a habitat as well. So the infrastructure might actually be done rather soon. So we do have our sunken monorail here. We do have a bit of a entrance area for... Actually, this should be the entrance area for the backstage staff. But I think because they have all the dinosaurs in here, everyone is going here and not here. This is a bit of a pity, but as soon as we have the whole park kind of connected, that should not be too much of an issue. This is my breeding factory at the moment. Don't mind that one. It's going to get away. I also did build in this area a bit more, so that is going to be also revealed soon. And this is, again, our little raptor kitchen we've done. So the raptors show the view. Oh, it's daytime, so that's why it's freaking dark in here. But that's our raptor kitchen. You should have seen by now. If you haven't seen this episode, highly recommend watching this one. And as you can see, this is kind of how in relation it is to the PYRORAPTOR habitat. So I'm getting a little bit into the theme park idea. So envision this. You are here in that area, and it's all kind of a huge scale, as you can tell. So if you are here, you can't really tell too much about the rest. But if you zoom out a little bit and you're with the truck, you know, going around that corner, it just kind of opens up to you that there is something more in the background. And if we fly all the way, back to our entrance area, so you can see this also in the background. So this is kind of the idea that we have some areas that'll draw your attention, you know, and we will also change a little bit about the flatness of this entire area. It's gonna have a bit more of a valley later on, but yeah, overall the idea of the raptor is really that you don't really see it, and it kind of goes into the nature, and this is more like a surprise getting there, while this huge dome can surely be bigger as like a bit of a bigger attraction where you go to. So that's kind of the idea behind this one. As I said, it's going to be finished as well, also fixed all these escaping issues we have, but yeah, overall, I'm still very pleased. It doesn't look like much, but this project, trust me, has already received a lot of care, a lot of love. As you can see, this tour has now been evolved a little bit, because we will obviously also have some bigger attractions like T-Rex and stuff come in. I do have a very nice idea about the T-Rex as well. We will have to have some security measurements in between, so there's a reason why we don't have the super dangerous animals in the front. I mean, the most dangerous one we have over here is the Dimetrodon, but we will also have some other stuff, and then we need to have some kind of double security ideas coming into the project the more we go into the back, where some more heavy dinosaurs and some more heavy carnivores are, but that's going to evolve soon. See, the point is I've done a lot of intricate smaller work first, because these larger, like huge areas for, let's say, the sauropods and so on, they will change the face of this park super dramatically and quick. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have the story and the basic idea set in stone first, to build from there and get this idea. So if we click on the map, for example, you can really tell that we have a very decent kind of area at the start. It's going to be very dense. This will be evolving quite a bit more, so this first area will be very dense as well, and then the carnivores will be spread out over here with a bit more space in between. Again, security measurements. We will have some sauropod stuff going on down here, and this upper area, I'm not 100% sure what we are going to do with it. I have some ideas. I want to expand the lagoons a little bit here, so there are ideas. Okay, you can see the lagoons over here also are kind of sneaked into the water, and I want to maintain this idea somehow. It just kind of is a good idea, I guess, at the end of the day, but we'll see about this. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Man, I did enjoy this quite a lot. A bit of work involved in that one. There's soon to be coming more work as well, but for the moment being, I am super happy. Hopefully you guys are too, and if you like this project, if you are inspired by it, if you're happy about this, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. There is a lot more coming. Again, as promised, the next episodes will be really cool as well. I have a lot of plans, what to do and what not to do, and you know, I'm gonna take you on that journey, and hopefully you are willing to follow me on that journey. I am very much into it. So yeah, hopefully see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, helps me, helps you, whatever. Have a good time and goodbye.